Hi, my name is Andre Thomas. I'm a faculty member at Texas A&M University, and I run the Life Lab, or the Life Lab stands for Learning Interactive Visualization Experiences, where we're focusing on the research, designing and prototyping of interactive learning experiences, most of them in the forms of games. I also am the founder and CEO of Triceum, a company that spun out of Texas A&M and the Life Lab that commercializes what's coming out of the Life Lab and allows other students and faculty across the world to benefit from the research in the Life Lab. I've talked about games that we're developing, researching, prototyping in the Life Lab. Let me give you a quick definition of what a game is and how to view games. Most people view games as a form of entertainment. I'd like to broaden that definition, and games is another form of medium. The same way as books can be used for entertainment, they can also be used for many other things. Recipe books, reference books, textbooks. The same way you ought to think about games. Games are mainly today's games. There's many games for entertainment, but there's also plenty of games these days for other purposes, for health, for social awareness, for political reasons, for learning, for education. And so that's one of the things that I'm focusing on. Many times we hear in the conversation gamification and game-based learning being thrown kind of mixed together. My definition of those terms, they are very different. A gamification is the assignments of badges, of points to a task, to hopefully motivate somebody for the player to do something, or the participant. It's not really a game when we gamify something. If I say, okay, I want you to take the trash out every week and you get a gold star. If you do it on Fridays, you get a silver star. If you do it on Saturdays, you get a bronze star. If you do it on Sunday. That's me gamifying. All I want you to do is take out the trash, and in return you get a gold star, silver, or bronze star. That's gamification. It's not a game. A game, my definition of a game has rules, has an end state, which is win or lose, or stalemate in the form of chess, where you can have a stalemate, but there's a definite end. Games have objectives. Something like Minecraft, that's a sandbox. You can make games in Minecraft and with Minecraft, but Minecraft in and of itself is not a game. It's a sandbox that you can use. Just like a sandbox out in the playground, you can create games in and around it, but in and of itself it is not a game. And that's my definition. And there's many different definitions out there. Gamification, very successfully used in the hotel industry, airline industry. Think about your air miles you get when you take a certain airline, and those miles are being used to upgrade you, get free flights. That's of value to you. That's why you are using that airline again. That's why you're staying at that hotel again, because you get that upgrade. You get to the club room, or you get a free hotel night. Those gold stars I give you for taking out the trash, well, they don't really have any intrinsic value attached to them. They're just chocolate-covered broccoli, essentially. Because what do you do with those gold stars? So let's talk about students. What is the most valuable thing for a student? What is time? If these gold stars equate to time, then perhaps. But can you really give them more time? Can you give them a day off? So think about extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation. Those are extrinsic factors, and they're not really very long lasting. Game-based learning really drives intrinsic motivation. The object, the things that I want you to learn, becomes the object of desire inside of the game. So in a math game, for example, me doing math and being better at math, that is my inherent motivation, and while I'm doing so, I'm learning the math. Obviously, if I just get points for solving math equation, well, the thing I care for is the points, not the math. And I can replace the math with anything else. It doesn't matter, because the points is a value system. So make the things that you want to teach the value system, i.e. the math, the physics, the chemistry, If that becomes a value system in your game, now you have game-based learning. When we talk about using games to not only teach, but I believe you can use games as a game design methodology to solve problems, any type of problems, because games are equal. So I can't think of a game that has requirements in terms of gender, ethnicity, age, religion, political belief. And if you want to play chess, you play chess. The game doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what you did yesterday and what you're going to do tomorrow. The game is equal to everybody. Now, thinking about this, you can use game design to create an equal playing field amongst very disparate stakeholders, participant in a conversation or negotiation. So we're tackling a problem, let's say budget cuts, where you can bring the city administrators, the teacher, the students, the parents, all into the same room, and instead of discussing in length the budget cuts and why not and what's going to happen, you could all together design a game around budget cuts and what they could do or what they don't do for you. In the process of designing the game, it becomes much easier to have a conversation. Well, this is where I'm standing, this is what happens when you take money away, something that's more difficult to do when you're in a regular conversation. So within that context, everybody can really voice their standpoint, their viewpoint, from where they're coming, and they can listen to each other and hear each other, and together they're designing the game. Now the game itself doesn't really matter at the end, because it's a process. Through the design process, through the design thinking and iteration and prototyping, you are together arriving at solutions that you could have not seen otherwise alone. And instead of fighting and, oh, well, this is my point and win and who's gonna get and take, you all in this together going in one direction from the moment you start till the moment you finish. So I highly recommend that process for any type of problem solving. Thank you.